Killed a Kennedy and Sonny Bono.
But it's actually really dangerous, dude. Skiing is like fucking wildly dangerous. Just sometimes I was in Park City, and you're just going down it's a really long trail, like 20 minutes, like you're just going and going and going. But there's times where like I'm going to the edge, and all it takes is like just a little less control, and you just fly off the edge of a thing, and you're done.
Oh yeah.
How do cars not go off like up in the canyons in LA every year? Like tons of them.
They do.
They do.
Constantly?
Isn't that how Tiger Woods crashed?
Maybe. He went off one of those cliffs?
Isn't that what happened, Jamie?
No, not quite.
Not quite?
I thought he just hit a tree.
There was one guy who was tweeting, who was like a famous plastic surgeon. He was like tweeting, and they discovered that he was tweeting at the very same area where he fell off the fucking cliff. So he was just like texting while he was driving and not paying attention.
Crazy.
He went off the side.
That's the most 2 in 10 moment of my life when I'm going over those, like through the Hollywood Hills. Just like, I mean, it's crazy that you're able to drive that close to like certain death.
Yeah.
Oh, well, how about the fucking drive up to San Francisco if you take the coast? Oh, there's times where the left side of you is just cliff.
Yeah, like thousands.
Yeah. There's like famous places like in the world, like in just other countries where, I mean, I've been to a few countries where you're driving, there's no rail. Your tires are just like along the edge, like almost hanging off. It's fucking terrifying. Yeah.
Fucking dumb other countries.
Oh man, there's some wild countries where the only way to get is these fucking roads through the mountains, and sometimes there's boulders that fell in the way, and you got to move the fucking landslide and hope it doesn't hit you while you're driving.
It's amazing all the years of driving for comedy and how long I've driven. Never seen a falling rock once.
Not once.
That is amazing.
Since Falling Rock, never seen Falling Rock anytime ever.
I've only seen it on
never
the
hit
internet.
a deer.
It's crazy. You never hit one deer?
I was on a tour bus that hit a deer once. That was pretty gnarly.
I hit a rabbit recently.
Oh yeah.
Sad.
I tried though.
Oh, did you?
No.
I thought you meant with your foot when you killed them both.
No,
with
I
your
did.
foot.
That actually happened to me recently. I was moving my lawn furniture because my fucking Mexican fucking lawn care people never move the furniture back to where it's supposed to be. And I'm moving it back, and I felt my foot go into the ground, and I heard beep, 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 beep. And these baby bunnies jumped out of a bunny's nest, which apparently they're underground. I had no idea. And they fucking...
So Lewis reported those guys to ICE. Piece of shit. What a piece of shit, dude. Come on. They're just here trying to live the American dream, dude.
Yeah, the one jumped in my pool and went belly up, and I thought it was dead. I scooped it out with the skewer, threw it in the garbage. My girlfriend was like, "Are you sure it's dead?" I was like, "I'm positive it's dead." It was...
Did you try feeding it carrots?
She really did bring carrots out to these little broken bunnies. I was like, they don't want your carrots. Like these fucking...
Did they live?
Stop trying to what's
they
up
did,
doc
actually.
these
I thought they were going to die for sure. Because I called... It was on Memorial Day, and I called like a an animal rescue place, and they were like, "We're closed today. Call the cops. They'll come and get them euthanized." And we were like, "No, I'd rather them die a slow death in my backyard." And eventually, they just started hopping around. The one guy, we call him Limpy, and he was just fucking pushing himself with one leg. And
you should have glued their hands to their genitals and then hung them from something and be like, "Oh, another autoerotic asphyxiation gone wrong." Great. The guy from InXS, David Carradine, and now these rabbits.
So he either lived or a hawk came and got him eventually. But
do you think that some of those auto asphyxiation guys were murdered and they were set up to be humiliated and look that way?
No, I think do you see now they try to take the jerking off part away from all those stories now?
Really?
Yeah, they don't want.
How many stories are you reading that are autoerotic asphyxiation?
None.
But he's watched a whole documentary on it.
No, I'm gonna make my own documentary. Soundgarden jerked off to death. Linkin Park jerked off to death. Anyone who hangs himself.
Well, you mean Chris Cornell?
Yes.
Well, I don't think he was jerking off to death, was he?
This is Jay's theory that he thinks everyone.
Is it a theory?
It's a strong theory.
Did you make it yourself?
Yes.
Oh,
okay. Who
just
hangs?
Clear,
There's no evidence. There's no evidence.
You don't hang yourself from a fucking doorknob that low when you're not trying. They flash knockout while they're doing it, and then they just die because they're being choked.
100%.
They pass out. That's it. Yes, 100%. You heard it here first. And Linkin Park.
Robin Williams.
Robin Williams. They said put a note, but again, I think now since Michael Hutchins from NXS famously did that. And David Carradine. That was news. That made news. They died from that.
How good could it possibly feel?
You ever get choked during sex?
I've had people call in
to get choked out, like while you're nutting.
I've heard people call in to tell.
Dude.
People say it mimics. A lot of times, former addicts do it because it mimics like the feeling of like the high of like heroin. That's what they said. But that's just people who've called in to say that. Who knows? But. Because Michael Hutchins and David, it's like the first, when you think of their name, before you think of even InXS or any of the songs, you're like, oh yeah, he died
Jerking
off. David Carradine, all those movies, died jerking off. So now they'd rather have you think they were just depressed and going through it than saying that, because that's all you're going to be known for now.
Right.
It's probably
I see
pretty
the
great.
theory. It's not a bad theory if the family can hide that information. Like, is it
Wouldn't you?
important that he was jerking off? He killed himself. The world doesn't need to know he was jerking off while he killed himself.
Well, you'd rather feel that it was on purpose because he was desperate and sad,
Right.
than he was such a weirdo that he had to jerk off and hang himself from a fucking doorknob.
I heard there's a conspiracy involving the David Carradine one. I think David Carradine had run afoul with some shady characters. 'Cause
Yeah,
I think it was
five Venoms, dude.
I think it was in Thailand. Wasn't it in Thailand or something like that where he wound up?
He's actually kung fu.
Is it? Is there a conspiracy theory attached to it? We should call Sam Tripoli.
He roamed
right
the
away.
earth, bringing HPV to foreign lands.
He was kung fu when I was a kid. When I was a little kid, he was the guy that was doing
Hell yeah,
martial
Kane.
arts on TV.
Yeah.
Kane.
High Chang Kane. Everybody called everybody Grasshopper back then.
Yeah, but getting choked while you have sex rules.
All
really
right, bring
into
it back up.
it.
I
You're
guess
Not
we'll
really,
talk
dude.
about
I'm
it.
saying
He's hanging on it.
I dig
All right,
it.
bud, I'll
David
choke you out while you
Carradine was
whack it.
wearing fishnet stockings and a dark wig when his body was found hanging in a Bangkok hotel room.
Oh.
Grainy images printed in the tabloid Thai Wrath reportedly show kung fu actor suspended from a clothing bar in a closet. Red woman's lingerie appears to be in the bed adjacent to the body.
Oh, this is somebody who hated him.
Yeah, that might be, right? Found with his hands bound above his head and a rope around his neck, wrist, and genitals. How would one do that to themselves? Sordid details of Kill Bill star's sexual life began to surface as the photos generated more questions about the actor's mysterious death. That seems like you couldn't do that yourself, unless you're like really ingenious. How do you bound? It says hands bound above his head. How do you do that? And a rope around your neck, wrist, and genitals.
You need a really cool friend.
How are you doing that?
1-inch punch. 1-inch punch, dude.
Are you pulling it tight with your hands? What? Okay, yeah. Let's fuck that.
Started getting carried away.
Started like real gross. Yeah, there's a lot of accusations involving.
He was giving his wiener the old 5-finger death punch.
But I mean, what are the like standards of like in Thailand if they find you hanging wearing women's lingerie? Do they really want to investigate? They're probably like, this guy
It's a
killed
lot.
himself.
I don't want to touch that. It's icky.
Yeah, they're probably like, how is it autoerotic asphyxiation if his hands are tied up too above his head?
That's the weirder thing. I never saw that before. His hands were above his head.
That sounds like he got
That sounds like
killed.
somebody walked away. Well, it's one of those things. Might have gotten carried away, and somebody just left because they were like, "Whoop,
Right,
he's
like
dead."
maybe a lady was giving him head, and then he came and then blacked out, and she couldn't get him off the ropes.
Yeah,
So she
split.
just fucking booted out of there.
Not like Linkin Park and Soundgarden, who were just jerking to each other's music.
I think some of them are just depressed, dude. Bourdain was just depressed.
But who hangs? There's so many
People hang themselves.
faster ways to take care of
They
the
don't
situation.
have anything around them other than a rope, and it's an impulsive decision.
And it's also like a romantic way to
Yeah,
kill yourself.
it's
It's
like-
like,
Who's
Yeah.
got rope?
You don't need
I got rope in my
cord.
garage.
You need cord. How about the guy
Sock.
that
Your jizz sock from all your autoerotic asphyxiation.
was connected to the Clintons that hung himself with electrical cord and then shot himself in the chest with a shotgun?
from 40 yards away.
Yeah, it looks a little sus, as the kids like to say.
Yeah.
Was
If you
that
had to kill
always-
yourself, Joe, how would you kill yourself? If you had to.
Well, gun is definitely the best way, right? Because it's quick.
Yeah, but if you shoot like your front lobe off and
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't put it in your mouth like a real man.
That was the fucking Richard Jennings. Richard
And
Jennings.
then choke
thing was
yourself.
that. He missed
Yeah, he missed.
and died later.
Yeah, he died in the hospital. Oh,
That'd be my biggest fear is like shooting, like just angling it wrong and then just.
I saw a video of a guy who did that with a shotgun. He just took off the front of his face and was blind. Lived. Yeah. Oh.
Life is now worse.
Richard Jennings takes his life. Dave Coulier never even tried to take his own.
Richard Jennings was funny, dude.
Very funny.
Back in the day, he was the fucking man. He was depressed that he never wound up being a movie star. He wanted to be the next Jim Carrey, you know?
He did. Yeah, he got close with the mask, and they said it just made him more bummed.
It's crazy because he's like, to us, all the comics back then, he was the guy, you know?
Well, he was on all those shows. Were you doing comedy at a time? Do you have performances on like A-List and Stand Up Spotlight or VH1?
I did a
like
bunch of those
things.
Yeah, I did a bunch of those.
Caroline's Comedy Hour was
Yeah,
a biggie.
I did that. I did
Evening at the
MTV
Improv.
half-hour comedy hour.
That was
I did all those
Paulie,
things.
right?
No, that was Paulie. Was totally Paulie. MTV Half Hour Comedy Hour was another show that would do, do like 10 minutes or something. I forget what the time was.
VH1 did one of those with Rosie O'Donnell, kind of hosted them or something.
Yep.
Those it seemed like it was a pretty fun time in comedy. Comedy was pretty polluted with like a lot of same old.
Yeah.
At the time, but I mean, like, what a time to kind of like. That's why it was funny when I was opening for Dave Attell those years. He couldn't get a grasp on like the change that I was experiencing. Because he was kind of like, after 3 years, like, you want to go with me to this club again? And I'd go, absolutely. And he'd go, aren't you headlining this place yet? And it's like, it doesn't work like that anymore. Because he's from a time where they said if you got an hour of comedy together, then you tour. That's what they say.
Well, Dave was way ahead of his time.
You tore that hour of comedy. He goes, you can't just do that. Like, you need places to book you.
Well, Dave, back when I started, this is 21 years ago, like, people would just have their act. Do you remember Seinfeld's documentary where he was like, I'm going to get rid of my act after 20 years and have a new hour. It's like, that's what everyone does now. The standard of comedy has changed so much.
Yeah.
But I feel like Attell was always like that. He would turn over. He was very prolific.
No, for sure. I'm saying he didn't get that, like, the change that now you have to be able to sell tickets.
Right.
To get booked places first. It wasn't just like, well, you're one of the comics who has an hour in the country.
Yeah.
There was a time where it was that. It was like these guys I think it was like the two coasts, really, was all of it. You know what I mean? Then the internet, I think, really opened it up to the rest of the country, and it's like saturation.
Yeah,
now.
you used to be able to go to clubs and build a market. So you just keep returning. You turn like once a year, and after a few years, people would come to see you like, oh, Big J's coming. He's really funny. We saw him last time.
San Fran Punchline, Stress Factory are maybe two of the only clubs that really, I know there's more. Oh, the Providence Comedy Connection. Let me go there and have enjoyed watching it be like, giving me a couple $100 for a weekend to change over the years.
I remember
I've seen that.
I opened for you. You made $600 for the weekend as the headliner.
Yeah.
Yeah, they give you a chance. And if you're good and they know you're good and they give you a chance, the people trust them because they got a long history of booking good comedy. It's like, who's this guy? Is he good? Let's take a chance.
Right. But places got afraid. I remember that hurt so much. I opened for Steve-O when he first started doing comedy, stand-up. I opened for him, and I'd done DC Improv with Attell and stuff before, and I did that weekend. And I hate when you go hat in hand to places and you get bad news. I remember going to the booker there, who was like someone who's like so friendly to me now, and she's great, but like, it was so hard. I go, hey, I'd love to come back and headline, even like on an off weekend, when people don't want to do 4th of July, Thanksgiving, whatever. And she goes, yeah, I'd love to, but you don't sell any tickets, so it's all about selling tickets. And she just kind of laid it out like that. And I just thought I was like, well, I didn't even know how to start making that happen. It's pretty when we started like Legion of Skanks and stuff.
Well, podcasting sort of created an opportunity for comics to
the best.
Yeah,
the
build
best
an audience. People, they know us. They feel like they're really like sitting here with us.
Well, they really are, right? And we talk like this if we were in the green room. The difference between podcasts and everything else is we're really talking just the way we talk.
Yeah.
But everyone also gets mad to it, like what the thing is besides stand-up that makes it happen, whether it's podcasts, internet videos.
Yes.
But I've learned also to stop having that because people get a lot too much wrapped into that. Like, they're just a social media comic or there's a whatever. It goes, buddy, I don't know. My ex-wife does comedy, and people ask me, like, are you mad that she does comedy? Like, I can't judge why anybody gets involved in it. I got involved because somebody suggested it to me.
It's crazy to even want to
Care. It's like,
who gives a fuck?
It's like, why'd you get it? It goes, oh, because I was having funny tweets, so I figured I'd give it a shot. Like,
well,
okay.
the
It seems like a good enough reason as anybody else starts.
The first decade, there's no path. But like, what is the path to like even making money? You're just doing it blindly, going like, I hope something happens eventually.
People get mad because I think there is a path now to making money very quick, and people are doing it. And so it's that.
Right.
It's the Howard Stern used to shit on. It was that famous thing with him and Ari, shitting on the idea of podcasts. But when people were shitty about that, I always understood his anger. At least I don't agree with it, but I understand when he did the.
Well, his anger didn't make sense because he was already super famous.
No, but his argument was saying I had to do AM shift. 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. In this shitty town. And I had to do this, and I played music until they realized it would be better to let me talk 10 years later. And he went through all that. That it's just like, well, you could flip on a switch, and if you have an audience already or connected to somebody who has an audience, like, you're doing it already? Like, you're just doing it now.
Well, also the difference is we all hang out with each other and do each other's podcasts, whereas those radio guys all fucking hated each other.
You're right.
Like Howard Stern hated Opie and Anthony.
Down.
Yeah, they would talk shit about each other all the time.
Opie and Anthony used to have, what was it, Jocktober, where they would just find shitty radio shows and they would have their fans torture them for an entire month.
Yes.
Oh, so funny.
Brutal. Fucking brutal.
And
cutthroat.
It was
podcast doesn't have to be.
Right, because you could only be the one big radio guy in Philly.
Yeah.
You know, and if Stern was coming into Philly, and if they're going to open up like a syndication thing, he was going to talk crazy shit on the big guy in Philly, whoever it was, or whatever city it was.
I do feel it's interesting watching. I wonder if this happens with every generation. The comedy dollar gets stretched though, because it is kind of funny. Not that it necessarily hurt. I think now with like having these kind of like Shane, I'm opening for Shane at some of these arenas and stuff. It's amazing. He's getting like 18, 20 some thousand people into these places and doing it. One, that's very difficult to like think of new jokes when you're doing comedy like that all the time. But
Well, you do clubs.
for sure, no, I do
You have
clubs.
to.
But I'm
No,
saying,
but I mean, you have to.
like a Shane will do clubs also.
Yeah,
Oh no, for sure.
of course.
But I'm just saying like a ticket to see someone in an arena it's before they'd be able to see everyone they loved was coming through the Improv or whatever, and then a couple were doing theaters.
Right.
Like now it's like it's a fucking night out at like a sporting event to go see comedy, where it's like they might not have the money next week to go see me or Lewis at a club. I think it has changed. It's interesting in that way.
Well, there's some people that just don't want to spend that kind of money to go to an arena anyway, and they'd rather go see someone in a club.
Sure.
It's a better experience. It's
a
how
better
comedy's
experience.
supposed to be.
The best experience, though, in an arena is in the round. In the round is
That's
like
how
a
Shane
giant.
does it.
It's like a giant
It's
club.
nuts.
It's like a giant club because the people on this side are watching the people on that side laugh, and you're all laughing at each other. It's very intimate, weirdly, even though there's like 16,000 people.
The only comedy I don't love at all of the three things, clubs, theaters, is theaters. Theaters is impersonal from the crowd enough, and also personal enough that you could still do bad. They could turn on you a theater, possibly if you're not the person they're there to see, or even if you know what I mean. There was like a Nick Swardson thing where they turned on him.
Well, he was lit on edibles.
Yeah.
He couldn't remember what the fuck he was talking
my
about.
Point just being, they weren't with him no matter what. Like they did turn on him. Something about the arena, and again, Shane's doing an hour at these things, which is impressive as hell. For the 20 minutes I have to do, it's like, how could this go bad? Like it's just if anyone's laughing in there, it sounds like a million people laughing.
Shane had a guy open for him. I don't want to trash the guy.
I heard it was
so
a
his
sound
name-
issue though.
But he just like, dude, he just started getting booed. And dude, getting booed out of an arena is crazy.
It's crazy.
I mean, you have to feel like it has to feel like being like you're getting the same reaction like that the visiting team gets when they go to that arena.
I've seen it on
It
Killzone.
happened to a comic.
Killzone arena shows too happen. Somebody will do two jokes in a row that bomb,
Yeah.
and then the crowd's like, "Fuck this guy," and then it's almost fun. I think it's because people are in that environment; they think it's fun to do it.
How about TJ when T.I. got booed at something when he was doing comedy, like at a big arena?
Oh yeah, well it wasn't. He didn't have it tight.
No, he sure
You can't
didn't.
do that. You can't just
But there was-
jump into
But you can just lose them. So, like Damian Lemon, very very funny comic. He did like the Hot 97 Summer Jam comedy thing, and like they turned on him hard. And when it turns, it
Or
turns.
the most famous one of all, Bill Burr on the Traveling Virus tour, Opie and Anthony back in the day in Philly.
Well,
Do you
that's
remember
because
that?
they had turned on Dom Irrera before.
Yeah,
him.
and then he came out
Turned
and he
on
just
everybody.
said, he said, "Fuck this crowd," and he
Yeah.
spent 15 minutes just shitting. It's one of the most beautiful
It's
moments, legendary moments in comedy.
Well, I'm from Philly, and it's one of my favorite lines ever about Philly that is indicative of that town that I love. Was he says, "Joe Frazier is from here, who beat Muhammad Ali. No statues to him, no nothing, and you have a statue of a fictitious Italian heavyweight."
Yeah. He's like, "You piece of shit threw batteries at Santa Claus. Fuck this town."
It's a classic. And
It's great.
And he kept rattling off 7 more minutes.
Yeah.
Like
I know that's funny. He had to quit that tour because everywhere he went, then they would start booing him because they'd be like, "Do Cleveland now."
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, that was like this is before viral videos were happening like that. And it was
Right.
such shitty, grainy footage. But that's when I mean, maybe my first year in comedy that happened, a couple of years in, and you're just seeing that, and it's like it's such a comics moment where you're like, yes, just fucking.
Well, it's a big It's a big moment to have in comedy. I said a few of them when silence doesn't scare you anymore, or just I could talk into a microphone, especially for 15 minutes, under any circumstance. You know what I mean? Like it'll suck if it's a terrible. They're already booing. Go out in the very beginning. There's no one there, but like. I'm not afraid of the moment.
Doesn't it
You know
suck
what I mean?
when
That's
it's
a big.
like,
That's a big thing to get over, and that's what being scared for the moment.
When you're
That's why I
headlining
said
a
I
show
do
in
well
the first
overseas the first time. I was like, do they even understand English here in England?
Dude, the first 5 minutes, if you're doing a headlining set that's not going well, and you're like, oh fuck, it's gonna be another hour. God damn it.
Are you a long time guy, or do you try to do like when you headline something?
I do an hour.
An
Yeah.
hour.
Yeah, especially if I'm on the road.
Yeah.
Always. I don't really have an hour right now, so I'm like putting it together. I think last night I did 50 minutes, and like some of it I keep forgetting my new stuff. It's a lot of new stuff because it's all since August.
Sure.
And I took a couple months off where I wasn't doing stand-up at all. I was like, let me just refresh my brain. And then I hopped on, started doing other people's shows. Then I had some old bits that I'd never put on the special, and I started bringing them back and piecing it together. But it's like you got to have a real set before you take that bitch on the road. You can't think you could have like a club 45 minutes and go do an arena. Like if you're going to do an arena,
for sure,
you got to have a real set.
I work out in the clubs on the road.
Have to.
Particularly. I mean, like, but it's...
Burr said that back in the day.
It's all just preparing for a special, really.
Burr said that back in the day where he was talking about someone special, and it's like, he didn't do the clubs. And he's like, he's right. Like this person, like some persons, they start doing theaters, big theaters, and they do real well, and they just keep doing that only, same opening act every time. Crowd wants to see them, and you develop it's like a soft act.
Yeah, it's no good.
Yeah, not good. You need clubs, man.
But Austin's great for that as well. So what you did down here is you've cultivated like comedy fans that want to see edgier shit. They want to hear fucked up jokes. New York and LA, they don't really like if you're just going on a random pop-in set at the Stand or the Cellar or the Comedy Store into some random show and they don't know who you are. You start doing fucked up shit, they get very tight. Very tight. Like down here, like you could go in the main room of the Mothership or at the Creek. I mean, they're comedy fans. They're like legit. Yeah. It's become like a comedy destination, kind of how like, people go to New Orleans for jazz.
Well, this town doesn't seem to feel like it has the same responsibility to like correct bad behavior on stage that New York has and LA has sometimes. Like they want to let you know that you're out of line. They don't want you talking about a certain subject. It's like
did you think there was going to be when you opened the club, did you like foresee the dissension and stuff that happens just within the scene? The people that don't work there bitching about that it's for this reason, and the people who...
It's a walled garden.
And everyone goes, they got in there because of this, and I'm not in there because of this.
They have a walled garden perspective. You see a bunch of people having a good time, and you're not involved. Oh, fuck those people. It's normal. Sure. It's a natural reaction that people have to like this intimate community of people that are all friends that are having a great time. It's normal to hate it. Yeah, but it's not all wild comedy. There's a lot of like really clean comics that come here that kill. Sure. Like Vecchione is fucking pretty clean. He's hilarious.
He's squeaky clean sometimes.
Yeah,
I mean, he's on
hilarious.
Nate's, he's like Nate's one of Nate's guys. So
and murders at the club.
He's a beast.
He's a beast. But it doesn't matter. It's just funny. It's just whatever kind of funny you're into. Holtzman comes and destroys.
Yes,
I'm not saying I'm not even saying the booking's like one dimensional anyway. I'm just saying that did you even foresee there'd be comics that were going to be eventually like club sucks anyways?
I don't hear about them.
You stay away. I guess it doesn't make its way to you. They wouldn't. That'd be stupid.
You're gonna have people that complain about anything that they're not involved in.
Sure.
They're gonna decide it sucks. Like, how could it suck if you've got 2 days of open mics? How could it suck if the comics get paid more than anywhere else? How could it suck if it's entirely set up for comedy? How could it suck if it's super supportive of the comedians and gives them a path?
What is the path for the young comic in Mothership?
There's a real talent coordinator. Adam Egan's a real talent coordinator. So he sits there and he watches your set. He gives you advice. He'll have you come back and do it again. He'll give you spots on certain shows. They start developing comedians.
And it's like anything else. Like, this business is about being likable and getting people to want to watch you succeed.
Yeah.
Where it's like you'll get your opportunity if all the other comics are like, yo, this guy's funny, you should take a look at him. I've seen that happen directly. Can I get the lighter again?
Yeah. Well, we have it set up for development. Like the whole idea is like you want to develop new talent there, and Kill Tony's the best vehicle for that ever. If you have a banger minute on Kill Tony, you could become a fucking star. And if you could reproduce that every week, like
59 times,
kind of crazy that some of them have to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an incredible writing exercise.
It's kind of crazy.
Sure.
The advice that I would have given a young comic, 15 years ago, I was a young comic at the time too, but it's like I would be like, do not be on camera for the first decade that you do comedy. Develop an act first. But now a lot of these guys they have the opportunity. It's like,
but can it be detrimental if you really eat shit on it? And you're like a 3-year comic.
I don't think people remember people bombing on Kill Tony where it'll be detrimental to your career.
It could be. But
it could not so
be.
Bad.
You bounce back and have a great set the next time and the people love you. I've seen that happen too. Look, you're taking a risk when you're doing a new minute every week. There's a real possibility you might have a dud.
Yeah.
Especially if you're new to the game. You've only been doing it 4 years. You got some talent, but
I genuinely don't know. It's an interesting thing when I had to do it essentially at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, yeah.
When you guys were there. It's an interesting thing. They try to whittle down in your head, like, what the fuck is
Just a minute, yeah.
Yeah, but they were all pumped to see you, so it was easier.
No, of course. That's,
They were psyched.
that's that arena atmosphere, too. It's like it's our game to lose.
The Garden,
Well,
I think, was like the best arena Kill Tony show. Like
it's amazing.
it was like
That was
it was
unreal.
really cool. I went both nights, and whatever it was, like they were just the crowds were so lit on watching those shows.
Yeah.
Like nobody got booed. There was no problems. Like super supportive.
Super supportive. Well,
Yeah.
some people got booed. There's people that bombed.
Did they?
Yeah,
The one.
couple of people.
I think
bombed.
someone went right before me.
Yeah, a couple
I
of
think I had
people
a rough
bombed.
one.
It's fucking hard to do, man, and it's fun to watch someone just go out there and fail sometimes. It just it's
Oh,
but
it's
it makes
very,
the
very
people
fun.
it makes the people that succeed look better.
When I do Kill Tony as a panelist, I love watching somebody bomb. It's my favorite thing because then you
Yeah.
just trash them. You get to fucking make fun of them. That was
Yeah.
I thought that's what, when we started doing the show. I've been a panelist on Kill Tony. I think I might have the number one amount of times, like 25 times I've been a panelist. And when we started doing it, like back in the day in the Comedy Store in the belly room, the most fun we would have is when somebody just had a hot one and then we would just fucking trash them. It became way more supportive now. Like the whole show format is like really like Tony trying to put guys over. But back in the day, we were just mean. It was just like a mean, evil fucking thing. It was so
evolved.
fun. Yeah.
It evolved. Those belly room days were wild because
Yeah.
like half the crowd would be like comics.
Yeah.
There was no one there. It was fun. But he kept doing it. I mean, he fucking did it over and over and over again until he honed that motherfucker down like a samurai sword.
Yeah. No, I'm super impressed with it. Like, Tony's the man, but that show itself is like
I think it's inspiration even for like Story Wars. It's a very different show. It's just the idea of like the live.
the format and
Yeah.
like, that's,
Skanks has always been a live show, but the development of Story Wars has been very like.
well, it's also easier when you have a format. Like we literally just set the table and then play, and it's like we don't have to really do much. Like, when you're on a podcast like this or like Skanks, you have to actually kind of like be a little bit more present and like just sort of like you're trying to connect with the comics in a different way. When we do, it's like a game show that we created, and it's just super formatted, so it's just kind of easy to just
Plug and play funny.
Yeah. Well, you guys, by doing Legion of Skanks, just by the name itself, it like opened up the door to wild comedy because it's like what you're getting into. It's called the show's called Legion of Skanks.
Well, this was a brilliant idea that Jay had. Like our secondary tagline is the most offensive podcast on earth, and it's not. There's more offensive podcasts, but it lets people. I think this is the reason we've never gotten in trouble is
Yeah.
because you know exactly what you're going to get.
Right.
It's great. Like for anybody to come.
Why
in-
would you watch this if you don't want to watch the most offensive podcast?
Yeah,
We
how
told
are you
to
going to
stay
complain
away.
about it? You look like an idiot if you start complaining about it.
Exactly.
Adam Carolla had a great analogy about it when he did our show. He said, he was like, "This is what why you guys get away with it." He's like when Snoop Dogg goes to the Grammys, Snoop Dogg goes backstage and he lights a blunt. And nobody's like, you can't smoke back here. It's like, you invited Snoop Dogg. You know what the fuck you're going to get, right?
Right.
And it's the same thing with us. I think people know what they're going to get with us. And we sort of just, play and have fun and do our thing.
Well, you give an avenue for comedians that's like, where people know what they're going to get. And obviously people flock to it. I mean, Skankfest sells out immediately.
Yeah.
It's because people love the vibe. It's fun. It's just fun. We're not here to take ourselves seriously.
Also, broadcasting has done something for comedy. It's pretty amazing that I think broadcasters like the Howard Sterns, they had that all the time. It's very interesting when you meet the people. They know you inside and out. They know the time you told a story about the
Yeah.
thing that you fear the most, and they know whatever. And
Oh, yeah.
I had to get used to stuff like that where they'd be like, "Hey, is your daughter picking a college?" And you go, "The fuck you?" I'm like, "Oh, I guess I." And you're like, "Oh, I guess I talked about that on the radio this week."
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
It's weird. You can forget that there's an audience out there sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You forget sometimes the things you say have weight to them,
No, absolutely.